If you're dealing with a reactive, nervous, hyperactive, high energy, high stress dog, then this routine might be the most important thing you ever learn. When it comes to these kind of dogs, yes, we should be teaching them what we do and don't expect, and that's all well and good, but sometimes it's completely impossible if their nervous system is just overriding all of the decisions that they're making. And even if they wanted to make the right decision, they just couldn't. So what I'm going to teach you today is a vagus nerve rehab, for lack of a better way of putting it. It's a nervous system reset rehab. So what you're going to need to do is commit 30 to 60 minutes a day. Now this can be in place of a walk. If your walks are hyper stressful and making things worse, I'd even recommend replacing one of your walks with doing this instead for a little while, just while your dog gains better control of their nervous system. So how does it work? 30 to 60 minutes. If we're doing 60 minutes, we're going to do blocks of 10. If we're doing 30 minutes, blocks of 5. And what we're going to do is we're going to have an activity that brings the dog's heart rate up, gets them moving, gets the blood flowing, gets them focusing on something, whether it's playing with us through tug, flirt pole, chase, whatever it is that your dog's into. This is different for different dogs, but whatever it is that gets your dog moving in a healthy way. Because they have all of these explosions in unhealthy ways, whether it's bouts of anxiousness or bouts of reactivity. These are explosions. They're going way too high. So we're going to go up, but not to the absolute ceiling. So we're not going to completely wipe our dog out here. Whether it's a bit more gentle play, depends on how fit your dog is, I guess. But what we're trying to do is get them moving, take little breaks in between for a few seconds, 10, 20 seconds, then go again. Once we've done that block, we're then going to go into a calming activity. So there's a bunch of these we can do. The ones involving food are usually pretty good. So these are your classic things like using a Kong. So fill it with your dog's food or with some paste, peanut butter, yogurt, primula, whatever it is that your dog really likes. Freeze it and then give your dog 5 to 10 minutes to work on that. Then we're going to go back into some play. And then we're going to go into another activity. So this could be a licky mat or some sniffing. So throwing food for them to find around the garden or hiding food. Getting them using their nose, getting some oxygen in, getting them thinking about where is this food. It's hard for them to do this in a completely crazy way, and it usually helps promote a little better blood flow, and it also helps them just exercise that genetic need to sniff and search. And then we're going to go back into some play, and then we're going to go into some decompression. So the way that we do this is either crate time. If you've got a crate trained dog, then just use the crate, just in there for 5 to 10 minutes. Lack of movement, lack of sort of ability to do stuff like a stimulation, help them decompress. You can also throw in something to help them with chewing. So whether it's another Kong, a pig's ear or rabbit's foot or whatever it is that your dog likes to chew on. And then we finish the session from there. Or we can do tethered decompression. This is essentially, we're going to sit with our dog, we're going to keep their lead on, we're going to put our foot on the lead so they're stuck with us. We're not going to interact too heavily with them, but you can maybe introduce some like massaging of the ears, massaging of the back legs, just to sort of help calm them down. Feel free to play some calming music if you feel like that helps. For some dogs it might, for some dogs it might not, but it can't hurt. What we're trying to create here is some ups and downs. Particularly, we're trying to get our dog better at coming down. So we're going to bring them up, but not to the threshold, and then we're going to help them down. And what we're trying to create is the body developing the ability to do that more naturally. For a lot of dogs, they just don't come down well. Most dogs, they'll come up real quick. If you just look at your dog and go, hey buddy, they're probably going to come and join you there pretty quickly. They're great at going up. It's part of what we love about them. They're ready to party all the time, but for some dogs, they're ready to explode all the time. So they're great at going up. We're going to create the downs. We're going to help them come down. We're going to make a routine that goes up and down and up and down instead of up and then crash and then up and then crash. We're going to bring them up in a healthy, enjoyable way. And then we're going to do something to help bring them down. Now you can change the order of these things as much as you like. I always recommend finishing with chewing something if you can help it, just because it's a nice end to the predatory sequence, and it tends to then, or it can tend to lead to sleep. It depends on the dog. And sleep is massive for any of these dogs that we're talking about. The more they sleep, the more decompressing they do, the better things are for us. What we're trying to create is that up, that down, that up, that down, and hopefully over time their dog begins to understand, or their nervous system, because this isn't a decision they're making out loud, it starts to understand how to regulate and have some ups and downs, just like we do in regular life. You might have parts of your day where you're feeling a bit calm and relaxed, and other days where you're all systems go, when you're thinking and you're active. And throughout the day, we'll go through ups and downs, and sometimes we'll have big stress and big sort of crashes of energy because we've been through something really stressful. But a general day for the average person consists of ups and downs. Some dogs just don't have that ability to regulate. This is us artificially manufacturing a routine that happens daily that gives their body the ability to up, down, up, down, up, down, until eventually the body starts to take over and do that all by itself because a pattern is beginning to be created. So you can do this once a day or twice a day, but at least once a day. And if it needs to be in place of a walk that is just a horrendous up followed by a massive crash at home, then that's absolutely okay. Not as a long-term plan, but definitely if they can't regulate and if they are too stressed, then this is just way better than taking them out and stressing them out for no reason. But it should be seen as like a stepping stone to eventually getting some training done outside. And if you need a good dog trainer, have a look around in your area. If you're anywhere in sort of the Greater Manchester area, we'd love to help you out. But we're potentially struggling to do the training because our dog is just too wired, too hyperactive, too reactive. This is absolutely going to help those kinds of dogs that don't come down very well. And when they do come down, it's a crash and then they're absolutely written off. That's not rest and recovery. That's passing out. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for I play, I relax, I play, I relax, until eventually they can control the ups and downs themselves and their nervous system becomes a bit more independent in this way. What you should also start to see is when they do have a bit of an explosion, whether it's out on a walk or at a guest or at someone coming past or whatever it is, they recover quicker. This means that nervous system is becoming stronger and becoming more adaptive. That's what this is all about. But also they'll just feel more relaxed in general. And that's always a good thing for a dog whose default state is highly, highly strong, highly reactive, highly explosive, highly excitable, and unable to listen when they're in those situations. This should help you out massively. If you have any questions about this, drop in the comments. We'd love to help you out. This can be different for different dogs. I'd recommend maybe taking out some of your dog's food allowance to do this because it involves quite a bit of food to do the calming activities especially. So if you need to sort of withdraw a percentage of their food to make up for it or use their food, if you've got a dog on wet food or raw food, put that in the Kong. And instead of putting it in a bowl, if you've got a dog on dry food, then the sniffing around the garden for it can replace maybe some or all of a meal. That way we don't end up with a fat dog because they're just getting all these lovely calming activities that contain food and eventually they're overweight and we've got a whole different set of problems to deal with. So any questions, drop them in the comments. We'd love to help you out. And please let us know how this goes and if you find it useful for your dog. And if you did find this useful, please subscribe to the channel. It helps us reach more people, help more dogs, and have a bigger impact on our canine friends. So thank you very much. We'll see you in the next one.